What's up, everybody? Anthony here. I am going to go through all of my stuff today and show you what kind of gear I'm taking. This is most of the gear that I took on the Toiletry Trail, but this is all the gear that I'm going to be taking on the Appalachian Trail on March 18th, which is my registration date that I signed up for. So it's creeping up quickly, and yeah, super excited. Have a lot of friends backing me, have a lot of friends giving me advice and helping me out. There are some things that are out here that, just because I haven't done any laundry, like some darn tough socks and, you know, certain clothes that may become interchanged throughout this process. But I'll try and go through and give you the weights of everything and kind of why I'm using the gear that I'm using, and also gear that I just recently upgraded that should be pretty massive game changer. But yeah, let's get in. All right, so we'll start with our big three to get this rolling. My first is my Gossamer gear, Gorilla 50. I exchanged this out when I had an Osprey, I think Aether 65. I really wanted a smaller pack. I wanted a lighter pack. Anybody that looks at gear knows that weight is, you know, extremely important when it comes down to it. But also I chose Gossamer gear because I'm a little bit of a smaller guy and my waist is smaller, and so my shoulders are a little bit more broad. So a medium pack was my initial buy. I attempted to use the medium hip belt, but the medium hip belt was a little bit too big, and so I couldn't cinch it, you know, for the snugness that I wanted to go around my waist. So I ended up buying a smaller hip belt to go around it. That has worked great since I started. It's been on a couple overnights. It's also gone on a 3-day trip out to the Art Lobe, and then I have a planned trip for the Foothills Trail at the end of December with another friend of mine that thru hiked the AT in 2023. So her and I are gonna go out. There might possibly be one more, but I'll be able to get a solid like 5-day hike in with it, and really dial in the rest of my gear. Outside of that, the pack weighs, I think, I didn't make any notes, so you guys will have to bear with me, but it's just under 2 pounds, I believe. I think it, or maybe just over 2 pounds. It's like 39 ounces, so I think it's 2 pounds 3 ounces. So it's pretty light. It's not ultra light, and I did not pack as an ultralight backpacker. I have stuff that I feel like I'll use and need on a regular basis on trail. Moving into my shelter, I'm using a hammock gear. Hammock, it has a bug net already attached to it. I believe it is 29 ounces. Everything fits in this little sack. All I have to do is open it up and slide everything out. Makes it super efficient, super easy to use. I also have these Grand Trunk straps. They're very adjustable, and I don't have to be set on a certain length of trees being separated. I can kind of move and adjust these where I want. They have little cinch holes scattered throughout the whole strap, and they're like 8 foot long. I'm sacrificing the weight because I think they're about 1 pound and some change. And then moving on, I have my Dyneema hammock gear tarp. So this guy, I originally had the Jungle Nest tarp from Sea to Summit. It was heavy. It was also not nearly as big as this is. This only weighs 7.4 ounces. You guys in the gear world know that the Dyneema tarp is typically 100% waterproof. This one also has the doors on it, so I can shut the doors on both open sides to stop any like side rain from coming in. I haven't done an overnight or been out in a thunderstorm yet, so we're gonna still see how that plays out. But otherwise, yeah, I've set it up multiple times. I do have a new system that I'm going to work on that should make it a lot easier than just tying the guy line to the tree, and it should be able to make it cinch a lot tighter and also make it a lot more efficient being able to set up quickly if it is raining. Moving on, since we're already on this side, we'll just walk all the way down our side here, and then we'll creep our way around to where my clothes and stuff are. So moving on, we have my trek poles. These are the Black Diamond Distance FLZs. They weigh in at, I believe it's 7.4 ounces a pole. So we're looking at just a smidge over a pound on trek poles. They also break down, so if I don't want to take them, I can set them off to the side or put them in my pack. For whatever reason, they've worked great. They've been fantastic to use. I've used them multiple times on different sections around Western North Carolina. We'll go into our water filtration. I have the Sawyer Squeeze. I have my 1 liter smart water bottle. And then I'll more than likely go into using a 20 ounce smart water bottle because it's a little bit lighter. I do have this that I bought. It weighs a little bit more. I think it's somewhere around like 3 ounces over like the 20 ounce water bottle. It's nice if I want to like just use it and then collapse it. This looks like it might be a little bit sturdier. As you can see, like squeezing this, it's starting to get real crinkly. It is plastic, so I mean, at some point in time it might crack. I am bringing my syringe so I can back flush my filters, or one filter. I do in my medical kit have an emergency like Catadine water filtration if for whatever reason something happens on trail. I did have a situation twice on the Artlobe Trail where my water filter froze. It is probably wasn't best to continue using it, but I kind of didn't have a choice. I was so far out and I didn't have any service where I was at, so I ended up still using it. Everything went well, everything went fine. I didn't waited a week and thankfully was okay, but I ended up replacing both filters. That one filter broke and then another filter froze twice, so both filters got replaced, so I have two brand new filters. So it's good to have a backup just in case. But next time I've learned some lessons to keep a filter in your bag and insulate it in your jacket when it's really cold outside. Moving into some toiletry stuff, I have some wipes that I bring for when you gotta dig a cat hole, because we all know it has to happen if there's no privy. I have my lightweight the Deuce trowel, and then obviously hand sand for all times. My med kit has kind of everything in it that you would really need. It's a really small med kit. It's got K-tape. I've got a lighter in here. I've got matches. I've got Benadryl, pain relievers, gauze, Band-Aids, blisters, stuff to take care of everything. But outside of that, I've gone over multiple friends lighter pack list, and this is the majority of what they take. I might actually have a couple extras. There's tweezers and stuff in there. I do have a large toothbrush. I did see this really cool video the other day of the trail brush that you can just attach to a Toke's long spoon on the back. So that would be really cool to maybe look into. They're pretty inexpensive. I mean, it's $8 for basically the head of a toothbrush, but it is what it is. Be fun to not have to deal with such a large item, but it's not like it weighs anything. I do have, you saw that was in a Ziploc. I have an extra Ziploc and then another Ziploc in my bear bag. Speaking of bear bag, we'll get into that. I'm using a 10-liter Ursack. So this was the best option for me to fit in my gorilla. A bear can wouldn't, unless I wanted to take up loads of space and have loads of weight. The bear bag itself only weighs 13 ounces, so this was great. I packed about 6 days worth of food into it, roughly, between like freeze-dried meals and snacks and all kinds of other stuff. So it did really well while I was on trail, and I'm really excited to try it out. Getting down into some electronics. Actually, before that, super small, super nice. I'm always carry a pocket knife with me, so I have this tiny little Smith & Wesson pocket knife that'll come with me. Electronic wise, I guess this isn't really electronic, but my headlamp, it is the Black Diamond Storm 500 or maybe 600. I'm not sure. It might be the 500. This is rechargeable. I just upgraded this. I don't have to deal with batteries anymore. It's extremely bright. It's blinding me turning it on. But yeah, I haven't got to use it yet out on a night hike. My other Black Diamond Spot was fantastic, but it started to like turn on and off if you like bounce too hard and the batteries come loose in it. So it kind of like, I guess the connection was broken somewhere, and so it would keep doing that. So I decided to upgrade, and some family wanted to help, so this was a early Christmas gift. I have 20,000 battery charger, and then I have I'm using my little Sea to Summit liner bag as like an electronics bag. All my cords have a charger for my power bank. I have a charger for my headlamp, and I have a charger for my watch. And then getting into our watch, I've had this for a long time. It's my Garmin 255 Forerunner. It's great. It's pretty light. It doesn't bother me at all. No point in buying a Timex or anything like that. I already have this watch, so what's one cord at that point? And then I have a wall charger for whenever I need to recharge everything. We'll move into, I have my Tevas. These are my camp shoes. They're a little bit heavier than, I know there's plenty of lightweight shoes to take out while you're on trail, but I already had Tevas, so I didn't want to have to buy another random ultralight set of shoes. I have my Tox Titanium that was given to me from another thru hiker friend. She had extra stuff. It's nice, lightweight. It's a little bit bigger. It's not, the 1100 is pretty large to walk around with and kind of bulky, but I've used it. It works. It was free. I don't have to worry about anything. I keep my like 3.5 ounce MSR, and then I have the Soto burner that will connect to it. I think it's like 3.5 ounces. Yeah, I don't remember how much the MSR weighs. The Soto weighs next to nothing. Wallet and shades will come on trail. I'm also using 3 dry bags to keep kind of stuff organized and separated. We'll get up here, take a sip. I am taking a small journal with me. I wrote down a lot of stuff that I want to try and remember on trail. It's also good tracking for me for, shakedown heights on what I like, what I don't like, what I want to change, things I think about on trail, the life stuff of what comes while you're on trail. Keep note of everything. Also, I can help keep track of like my mileage, of where I'm at. I said I was gonna start with my big three, but we ended up walking down the line. So we're gonna jump into my sleeping bag and pad. So I just recently upgraded my foam pad, which was a super thin Thermarest foam pad. Another early Christmas gift was this Nemo tensor, all season. It's a regular pad. The mummies were all sold out and hard to find, so I settled with the regular. It doesn't bother me. Gives me a little bit of space to move around. I like to sleep on my side and my back. It came with this Vortex pump, which is added into the weight already, which is 16 ounces for the Nemo tensor. It's great. It was only 2 more ounces than my 1-inch foam pad that I had been using. The R value of the foam pad was 2. The R value of the tensor is like 5.4. So the amount of warmth I'll gain out of this will be exponential. So that's a big game changer as well. Under here, I also have my Sea to Summit bag liner, and then get over here, and I have the Nemo Rift. We're gonna move some stuff around. I think my bag liner weighs somewhere around like 10 ounces, but I have the Nemo Rift 15. I use this during my Artlope trail during Thanksgiving, and it was pretty frigid. I think the high temperature my first day was like 30. That evening it dropped down into the teens. I woke up and it was like 14 degrees outside with wind chill. I was warm, and I slept in the shelter on trail and stayed warm the whole time, stayed comfortable. I used it the second night as well, which it got cold that night. At least it wasn't windy. And I went to bed with a lot of layers on, and I had to take multiple layers off. I started to sweat inside of that thing. So I'm super excited to use this, super excited to have it. It's on the heavier, it's not really heavy, but I think it's somewhere around 39 ounces. So that's gonna be, it's not that bad. It's a little over 2 pounds, I believe. Like 2 pounds, 3 ounces. So it's 800 down. It is not a quilt. I know quilts are a big thing. I might jump into that at some point in time because they're lightweight, they're easy to use, and if you can figure out how to get them to keep your back and stuff warm, they turn out to be fantastic. So one of these days I may upgrade to that. My hammock, my sleeping bag, and my pad, they all stay in this 21 liter dry bag from Sea to Summit. I have 3 dry bags, the 21 liter, the 8 liter, and the 3 liter. So it'll help keep things a little bit organized while I'm out there. As far as clothing that I'll be taking, what you won't see and what I don't have to really show you is that I'll be taking 3 pair of Darn Tough. Most people I see take 2. I want to take 3. My feet get really hot, so I don't mind exchanging and adding like an extra 7 ounces or whatever a pair of socks weighs out on trail. It's not going to affect me in any way, but I just want to make sure that I'm comfortable while I'm out there. And yeah, that's the main reason of taking an extra pair of socks. I have my Frog Tog rain jacket. I'm not taking much for rain gear. I'm only taking my rain jacket. I have a buff. I think my rain jacket only weighs like 10 ounces. Have my buff. That'll be worn most of the time. Also have these Black Diamond like liner gloves. I think they weigh like 10 ounces, maybe, if that. But they're rated for down to, I believe it's 15 degrees. Wore these while I was out on Thanksgiving. Worked great. Hands got hot, take them off. Hands get cold, put them back on. It's kind of the trend you'll do. I don't know if I'm going to bring a pair of pants. I have 2 different kind of pants that I've been thinking about wearing while I'm out there. It's either going to be a pair of Cools or a pair of Prana pants. My Cools I can kind of pull up and like turn into shorts if I take the piranhas, I'll just have to roll them up. But I also will be bringing a pair of sack shorts that will come out with me. I weigh next to nothing. I have a merino wool that a friend of mine gave me, so I don't have to worry about much on that. I'm taking 2 pair of boxers that are moisture wicking and dry wicking. They weigh like 1.4 ounces a piece. And then I have a midweight set of REI thermals for some cold nights out on trail. That'll be a hit or miss in mid-March, but I think it'll come in handy, especially with, you know, having extra layers in my sleeping bag with my liner plus my bag. I think I'll be plenty warm, and also, you know, swapping out socks at night, putting dry ones on, and I think it'll be great. I'm not too worried about that at all. So I'll probably wear shorts most of the time while I'm out there with just the thermals until I start getting warm. I heat up pretty quickly. Moving into my puffy, I have a marmot. I found this on Facebook Marketplace for like 90 bucks. It was maybe used 3 times. I don't know why they got rid of it. Didn't ask. It was only $90 compared to $250 for a brand new one. So I've already got some holes in it because I stood too close to a fire. So I have a couple holes I got to tape up, but that's no big deal. All of my clothes will be in this 8-liter. And then I think last but not least, I believe I'm going to be using the Ultra Olympus 6. I've heard mixed reviews throughout it of like, some people love ultras or some people hate ultras. It all depends on, I guess, how you walk, how you drag your heels. I don't know. Not sure. Never worn any. I have a pair of road running ultras. They work great. I've been wearing Hoka Speed Goats throughout the entire Art Lobe and all the other trails I've been long hiking on. Just like long day hikes, like 12 milers, something like that. But I've been wearing them pretty regularly, and my Hokas kept my feet nice and warm. They kept them comfortable. I didn't have any issues with them. So I'm gonna attempt these. They were pretty expensive, so hopefully they work and last at least 500 miles, I'm hoping. I opted for the extra cushion in the Olympus 6 because I don't want my knees to get weak. I want to make sure I put myself in the best situation possible while I'm out there. And then, yeah, outside of that, that is everything I'm taking. I might take some extra like guy line while I'm out. Who knows? Somebody might have something break. That's what, a couple ounces? Nothing crazy or out of the ordinary. But so everything that I showed you guys is everything that's in my lighter pack list. My base weight is 15.71 pounds. So I don't know how I got it that low. I don't know if I'm missing something, but I don't think I'm missing anything because everything that is here that I've showed you guys is everything that came on trail with me when I did the Art Lobe. It is everything that will come with me when I do the Foothills Trail at the end of the month. I'll give you guys an update later on if anything else changes, and then yeah, we'll move forward. We're looking forward to a northbound hike in March for the AT, and it's gonna be great. Anybody that's going out, I can't wait to meet you, can't wait to see you. Excited to share some stories and get to know all you guys. But yeah, if you guys have any questions, I will do my best to add links and to everything that I have in my description. And then yeah, we'll see you out there. We'll see you in 2026. Catch you later.